Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land, where you join me, Rolene Marks, every Monday to Thursday as we unpack the headlines making top stories here in Israel. So let's take a look at what's dominating today, and we begin with another day of resistance. This is the third such day in about 3 weeks, as hundreds of thousands of Israelis have taken to the streets in about 150 destinations all over the country to protest the proposed judicial overhaul. Well, it has been a relatively peaceful day. There have been some minor scuffles in places like Tel Aviv, where the police have dispersed protesters trying to block the Ayalon highway. At least 10 were arrested. Meanwhile, there has been an escalation on violent attacks against protesters, and at least one was pepper sprayed by a motorist earlier today. The leader of the opposition, Yair Lapid, said that growing violence against the protest movement is a result of incitement from the government. Meanwhile, last night, President Herzog revealed his people's outline, which is his proposal to try and look for a solution to the ongoing impasse and the ongoing resistance to the proposed judicial overhauls. Now, I have had a look at the president's proposal. It is pretty balanced in either party's direction. Of course, it is a little bit long to bring you all those details. I encourage you to have a look for yourself. You can find those details on the Jerusalem Post website. That's jpost.com. But what the president has tried to do is to try and strike a balance between each party. Now, his proposal was roundly rejected by the Prime Minister and the opposition, who called it unacceptable and insulting. The president said it doesn't matter that they said that or that they rejected it. At least we have a jump-off point to start dialogue, to start negotiations. Now, last night, the Prime Minister's plane that was due to take off to Berlin was delayed. And the reason for that is there was a security incident that the Prime Minister wanted to be briefed about. Just for the record, he has landed in Berlin and has met with the German Chancellor already. However, yesterday the IDF lifted their gag order, which had been in place for several hours, and announced that there had been a serious security incident in the north at the Megiddo Junction. An Israeli civilian was severely wounded, and one attacker, whose identity is still unknown, was killed. However, he was caught planting a roadside bomb. He was also found with a suicide belt and a gun, and it is believed that he wanted to carry out several terror attacks. We don't have any more details than those that the IDF have released. And finally, in a very rare phone call, the two foreign ministers from the Sultanate of Oman and Israel have enjoyed a phone conversation. Now, Oman, once tipped to be one of those countries that possibly could join the growing Abraham Accords, has kind of taken a step in the other direction of late, toughening their stance or their laws against anybody who interacts with Israelis. However, this rare phone call in which the two foreign ministers spoke, they reportedly spoke about Oman's opening of airspace, which they did less than a month ago, to Israeli aircraft, significantly shortening the travel time between Israel and the Far East. And they spoke about the heightened tension and the growing violence between Israelis and Palestinians, especially as we approach the holy month of Ramadan. And we hope that many more phone calls will take place. So those are your news headlines for today. Short and sweet. I must apologize. I do have an ear infection, and speaking is a little bit difficult at the moment. But don't forget that you can check out our website at www.layoftheland.online, our YouTube channel at the Israel Brief, Please like, share, and subscribe. Our Twitter page is at Lay of the Land 5, and Facebook we're at Lottle Site. I'm Rolene Marks, wishing you all a wonderful weekend. Shabbat Shalom, and I'll join you again on Monday for your top stories.